Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Nono, and I'm back with another video. For today, I wanted to take you guys through quickly how I soak off my nails and then how I also prep them for application. This has been a foolproof regime for me that has always helped me retain my nails all the way up to 4 weeks, even longer than 4 weeks to be honest. I really wanted to share this with you because I realized I don't have a designated video on my channel where I show you guys how I prep and how I soak off my nails. So I'm going to show you how I do all of that today. So if you're new to my channel, I always have a layer of rubber base coat on my nails just to always act as a layer of protection for my natural nails. I'm sure you guys have noticed though that it has started to grow out a little bit. I also do my DIY peel off base coat on top of my rubber base gel. If you haven't seen that video, I'll have it linked in the description box. I'll also have it linked at the end of the video. So it's definitely time to refresh this coat of rubber base, but also I'm going to show you guys how I prep my nails as well. That way I'm able to have my rubber base last all the way up to 6 weeks. So first things first is we are going to soak off these nails. I prefer using these nail little clippy things. I don't know what they're called, but I just find that these work just as well as nail foils. I also just use normal cotton pads, like the ones that you would use to remove your makeup. I also just have a standard file just to remove the shine from my nails, some acetone, and some blue steel Vaseline, family size. You know what I'm saying? I like using Vaseline to protect my skin. You can go in with cuticle oil or some coconut oil, works just as well. Let's start the soaking off process.
Time to be alone. It doesn't mean I had let go. I think that both of us.
So all I did now was just buff the shine away from my nails. This is just gonna make the process go by very, very quickly. Now it's time for the Vaseline, and I just love working with Vaseline to protect the skin around my nails for when I'm soaking with acetone. It can be very dehydrating, and if you have very sensitive skin, I definitely recommend just adding a layer of protection. Again, you can use some cuticle oil or coconut oil just to protect the skin. I'm gonna go in with a generous amount, and I'm only going in the area where the acetone is going to be touching my skin. It does end up behind your nail as well, so I just make sure that I've got a nice, barrier of protection from that acetone. Now, I know most of you are going to probably think this is overkill, but rather safe than sorry, right? I'm going to go in with some pure acetone. I'm just going to saturate my cotton pads with the acetone. And I do have a pump, but my pump just sometimes doesn't work as well. And I just place the cotton pad directly onto the nail, and then I just clip it down. I will have these linked in my description box if you would like to get your hands on some. Now, because this is a thin layer of rubber base, I'll probably wait around 10-15 minutes and then I'll check back in with you guys. All right, I'm back. It's been 15 minutes. This is how we're looking after I scraped off. Now you guys can see I do have some residue in certain areas. So what I'm going to do is just gently file over only those areas just to aggravate them a little bit more. And then I'm going to soak them a little bit longer. I don't like filing all the way to my natural nail, even if I'm removing the product. I just prefer it when I just go in with acetone and it does the work for me.
Time to be alone, it doesn't mean I had let go. I think that both of us need to be more honest. I'm finding it hard to trust anyone outside of us.
Look at how nice and moisturized my skin is. This is why I love using Vaseline. Now that I'm done with the actual soak off, I want to just file down the length of my nails a little bit. Now that I'm happy with the shape and the length, I feel like this is a much more manageable shape and length. I'm actually going to start pushing back my cuticles, and I'm gently doing this. I'm basically prepping now my nail beds and just making sure that they are ready for the next step. Now, as I always say, you want to be gentle when you're pushing back your cuticles, even though it looks like I'm being extremely rough. I promise I'm being gentle. And all we're doing here is just removing most of that dead skin, also pushing that cuticle back. Overall, just revealing more nail real estate. So I'm gonna gently do the same for my pinky and my thumb. Now with the scraper end, I like going around the cuticle area, because sometimes when you're pushing back, some of the debris just gets lodged in your cuticle. So I like to gently go in there and just scrape sideways and just make sure that I get rid of all of that debris. Now you can go in with your e-file to do this step. I really enjoy watching Russian manicure videos where they really go in the cuticle and they clean it up really nicely. I am not good at that, so I'm gonna stick to what I know, but I really wish I was. Like I would be in my cuticles. I'm gonna go in with my buffing block, and I'm gonna focus this more on the overall nail. And all we're doing now is just removing a little bit of the shine, but there really isn't much shine. I find that this just helps if there is a little bit of left product that maybe I can't see with my naked eye. This just smoothens out my nail overall. Now I'm gonna go in with my cuticle nipper. This step is not necessary, but I just like removing the tiniest bit of the dead skin. You'll notice I'm not really removing the most. I'm just going after that dead skin and just lifting it up. And I just love that look of clean and tidy cuticles. I just feel like it always complements the manicure. So I'm just snipping away, being very gentle, even though it looks like I'm not cutting much, but you guys can see all of that dead skin inside my nipper. Now I'm gonna go and just cleanse my overall nail with an alcohol prep pad. I actually really love these, and I was ecstatic when I saw that my local beauty supply actually has some of these. And I really love this step, especially after cutting your cuticles, to just really clean up your cuticles and make sure that you've just removed as much oil as possible. You guys saw how much Vaseline I had on here, so I had properly drenched my nails. Now before I continue, I really want to fix this tear that I have over here, which I hope you guys can see. So to fix the tear, I go in with an old tea bag. I keep the tea bag because my nail tears a lot. You can also use some fiberglass to do this step, but I don't like fiberglass. But I've noticed that there's also like fiberglass little pads that you can also purchase that are great for this, but for me the tea bag works really well. I'm just gonna cut it a little bit shorter, just make sure that it's not too big. And now I'm gonna just apply it on the side, and then using just a regular nail glue, I'm just gonna saturate it a little bit. I find that this does a great patch job for when I'm in a pickle and I have a tear that might end up going all the way down to my skin. I find that this works really well. So I'm gonna wait a few seconds for that to dry, and then I'm just gonna buff it down so that it looks nice and flush. Right, now that that glue is nice and dry, I'm just gonna blend this patch onto my natural nail a little bit more so that it isn't sticking out as much as it does. I'm also just blending it on the side there so that it isn't much as noticeable. Also blending it. The buffing block also does a great job at blending it. And once you are done, you should hardly be able to see it. And you guys can see I've managed to cover up that tear. This has saved me so many times. Every time I have a tear on my nail, this is my go-to technique. I find that it works really well. Even if you don't want to wear anything or nail polish or gel or anything, you can hardly see it at all. And even though I'm lifting that up, you can't see that tear anymore. So now I'm going in with a little bit of dehydrator on all my nails just to remove as much oils as possible, because remember they were drenched in Vaseline not so long ago, and we all know that oils are the #1 enemy when it comes to adhesion and also just overall longevity of your nails. So you definitely want to remove as much oils from your nail plate as possible, and dehydrators are perfect for that. Now I'm going to apply my protein bond, and I love protein bonds because these add such a nice sticky layer onto your nails and overall just helps with adhesion. Also pH bonds just help the pH of your nail plate basically match the pH of the gel that you're about to apply, and I just find that so interesting. So I'm applying a very thin layer. You don't need a lot of this product, you need just a little bit, and also just make sure that it's not flooding your cuticles. It's just on where you need it. Now my favorite product of all time, my rubber-based gel. This is by Planet Nails, and I know it's not available in most countries, but I will link Planet Nails website in my description box, and you can just check it out and see if it is available on your side of the world. Now because this layer is only for protection, I'm going in with a very thin amount. Like I want this to be very thin, and I like going in with 2 coats that are paper thin of the rubber base coat. Now this again I use to just protect my natural nails underneath all my sets. So again, you don't need a lot, but for today's purposes I'm just gonna go in with 1 coat. Now you'll notice I'm not necessarily doing the floating technique. I'm not really worried about whether it's going to look nice and flush or whether I have an apex or not, because that's not really important for the purpose that I need it for. A thin layer is good enough, and it might not seem like much, but let me tell you, rubber-based gels are absolutely amazing. They do a great job at protecting your natural nails. I'm gonna cure this in my lamp for 60 seconds. And that's it, you guys. This is how I prep my nails, and at this point I can go in with a full cover tip, some acrylic, I can do some gel, and I can go in with whatever nail extension I want, knowing that I've protected my nails underneath here. Now there is one more step I usually do, which is the DIY peel off base coat, and I do that on top of the layer of protection that I've done here. If you're interested in seeing how I do my DIY peel off base coat, definitely do check out that video. I will link it at the end of the video, and I'll also link it in the description box. I really hope this was helpful. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Most importantly, please like it so that it reaches more people. If you haven't, hit that subscribe button, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.